Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the session for today. Thank you very much for popping in. It's not going to be a massive session, but it's potentially important nevertheless. Just an update on some stuff. An idea to float past you, which I'm going to get you to have a wee peek at and give me your thoughts. Yeah, that's really it. I'm here to answer your questions, etc. So please, g'day Keith, thanks very much. Hi again, Michael and Mike and all. Yeah, Keith Wayne, Michael, thank you very much for connecting. Right, okay, let's get sort of into it. Obviously, the usual applies. So yeah, please do the right thing at every stage. It's really important. And right, let's just sort of get onto it. So in terms of EA delivery, so if we sort of quickly pop to Discord, we're now got 20 EAs, which are all going to, unless there's any objections, are going to go live very, very soon. It's arrived now. Okay, so this is the Discord channel. So what I did is, as I promised to, so there was a few I put up last week, and then I added to them accordingly. So this is, so I hit it quite hard. I did about sort of 8 or 10 this week, and amongst the different models, I tried to spread them out a bit. Why isn't there a BC there? There was at least one BC. There's one missing. I don't know why it's not on that list. There it is, BC Gold, 15 minutes, long set. Yeah, so just have a look at that. I haven't tried it. Sort of interestingly, I haven't tried the new some of the new. Oh, good grief! Why is it doing now? I haven't tried some of the new instruments like gold and gold and Aussie dollar, for example. Okay, there it is. Oh. Was it the long or the short version that I put up? Long version. I did try the short version. Yeah, that's right, BC3. Okay. So let's just have a look at this. Make sure I haven't got a dark. There we go, let's try that. So it looks really nice. I mean, even here, in terms of returns, it's doing very, very well. So really staggeringly good results. Somebody can do some sums on that, and really big number of trades. So all very impressive. But seems to struggle finding anything else on it. But anyway, that's I think really worth having a look at. That's 8 per 1,000. So it's about 24, 25, about 26 to 1, very roughly, 63%. Really nice numbers, whichever way you slice them. And this essentially was a fix of the confluence factor. So you'll see here that it's true on the composite mode. It'd be interesting to see. Just going to do a quick. There it is. So there's the composite mode. So first hit is false. So this removed the scoring of all to get the so it Forgotten the name of it now. So there's three. There was the count, the first hit mode, and then the one where it sort of weighted them accordingly. So we've got rid of the third one because they're making a difference. So New Confluence has only got these two for this one. Obviously, in some of the other models, it's got. Let's just do that and see what the difference is. Make sure there's nothing else. Lots of other things done. So yeah, so a real tidy up on it, and this is the one that, for those of you that were on the last session, this is supposed to be the really tidied up version with everything good. But I'm interested now to put this through the new skill that I've developed in terms of for Claude to work on. Yeah. So yeah, just the two factors. And you see that if with the first signal true, it gives us this, lots more trades. But you'll see the drawdown is slightly better. But if we look at the true there, you can see that that's there. And in fact, not false is better than the first signal alone. And of course, historically we've been using first signal alone. So it says don't use first signal or do. So there we go. Anyway, if it doesn't, it just uses the standard exits. So that was sort of interesting. So some more of those, maybe, if we look at our list that I put together. What's it doing? Oh, it's up on the desktop. Wow. I'm still getting used to this desktop. Oh, you may have some charts to delete my. Yes. What is the volume? 0.2 of the contract. Is that what you mean, the lot size? 26:1, thank you, Michael. Yeah, I think it's all the charts I've got open and all the back testing I've been smashing out over the last few days. Yeah. Oh no, I mean, it is really low. So oh look, EA previous day break. That was its original. That was its original title. No, you haven't made a mistake at all. I can change that in the code. I guess it's in the code somewhere, and that's why it's picking that up as being the previous day break. So we called it Breakfast Club because it was a snappier. No, not surprising. I was the first time I saw it, I thought, what? But yes, Breakfast Club sounded slightly snappier than the previous day break. So the EA is actually called, but in the title of its previous day break, but I just didn't change it in the code. I think it's probably what's done. Right, okay, that's that. Then I just want to show that and how it's maybe worth giving it a nudge. Although I must admit, I did find it difficult to find an easy other one. Oh, self-reversed audio. I am speaking. Right, right, okay. So essentially, that's where we're at. So these all go live this week. And it's a nice mix. If we look here, it's a nice mix of different ones. It's -1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 14, 16, 18, 20. Yeah, so that's the one missing it. So plus BC Gold. Okay, then so that's sort of where we're at. And of course, I noted today somewhere, Dave. Okay. So Dave's had a crack at this, as he always does, and he's done some good work. So he's done some uppercut stuff. So the base is what I did, and what Dave's done, which is fantastic, is to go and have a look At some of the short versions, AUD probably just about squeezes through the gates. It passed every on a 9.6 to 1. And that'd be nice because we've got 3 Aussie dollar yen versions, and it'd be really interesting. So one's called, if we go back, one's called, so one was Ron's work. I didn't want to miss that out. And then there was an A and a B. So Ron's one is that one on the Witwacker. Yeah, so there's 3 Witwacker Aussie yens. So I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to put all 3 on, and then we do the, because what I'm looking for, I hope I explain this right. What I'm looking for is signs that some of the numbers that we get in backtest are going to relate, and some of that includes some of the parameter settings are going to be more solid when they go to a live environment. So it'll be interesting to see how they compare versus expectations, all 3. So it's almost like an ABC test. So just something interesting to have a look at. Anyway, back to the book. So yeah, so we've got a NASDAQ short, which is very good, and a US 500. So there's 2 things that need to happen with this. Is you can download Dave Zip, and you can verify them accordingly. If you're not sure how to do that, then you do this. Continue to download, and right click, extract all. Right. Okay, let me just go back a smidge. Still on Discord screen. Right, let me go back through it. Sorry, guys. Okay, so this was the backtest report, and you can see there, if we look at the reasons for exit, then you can see that there isn't one of those confluence exits in there. Maximum give back, handbrake, stop loss, take profit. Okay. Then if we go to our there, so if we look at the maximum give back, for example, you can see that the maximum give back is armed at 0.7 ATR, and then it's 25%. Okay, so what that means is, so on the surface, because you don't see any difference in our backtest, you don't see any difference in the backtest, you might think, well, it's not working. It doesn't make any difference. That's not the issue. The issue is it's not being given a chance to make a difference. So we checked the backtest analyzer. We saw that there was exits, and none of those are exits. So yes, it's not working. It's not firing ever. If we take this breakout trade, just let me know you can see this, just let me know you can see the go to, yeah. Yep, all good. Cool. Sorry. It is second screen time. Absolutely. It's my next job. If we look at, right. So let's say we're entering this breakout, okay? And we entered at this point here. Okay, so meaning we'd enter at this, on this candle here. Okay, or let's say we zigzagged. And my guess is the last zigzag was here. That's probably not enough to create a new zigzag. Okay, and we'd enter here. So whichever way you slice it, we're entering here. Either way, we're entering this candle here. The fact that it didn't go anywhere is fine. So we've got an ATR here of 42. So if we look at 42, I'm going to take this line. I hope this, as I said, what I wanted to make sure of is that you sort of get a good understanding of what these things are actually doing. So 42 means if we entered here, 42 points above that level means that the maximum give back would be armed at that point there. Okay, so that point there. So now maximum give back is live. And so remember, maximum give back, what it says is if once it's armed, whatever that percentage is, then it's not going to give back more than that. So if we put on another line, okay, so that's its arming point. So we're looking for a 25% drop of this profit. Okay, so if this profit is 93, 93 points. What we're saying is we don't want to give more than 25% of that away. So actual exit would be somewhere sort of around here-ish. Okay, so that's our exit. So what we've done is we made around 55 points, which is still good. Now, would it have taken away from potentially moving that if that max and give back wasn't so tight? Well, maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. But this is what I'm saying. What this is doing is, and it's fine, is it's acting like a scalping strategy in terms of if it goes our, and I quite like that actually. If it goes our way, we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna get it. We're just gonna grab it. So it's arming really quickly. The only issue with this is that it does have the. Let's just have a look at the report. So what we'll see is that these profits are very low. Okay, 25, 29. No, a few of them are okay. A few of them, these must have been the big bounces. $7. And again, that's not necessarily a problem, but it's just understanding why it's doing what it's doing. If we look at our average win, there's a few biggies in there. Look at that big one there, that big profit there. That's a big trade. That's a Monday morning gap. Now, some of you being on the receiving end of NASDAQ trades, which have gone quite well in June, and that's a little spike. I've probably seen that. Yeah, there's that hockey stick. It's actually it wasn't actually June. It was back in October last year. But nevertheless, still very good. But understanding what your EA is doing is really quite important. Because that helps you make the decision, is this the right EA for me? So that's why the backtest analyzer isn't just about the numbers. It's asking two other questions. It's asking, does this explain why these things aren't making a difference? There we go. And it does, because exits are never triggered, because max and giveback's eating them all up. And handbrake, let's see the handbrake settings as well. So if we go back to MT5 again, so it asks, essentially it's asking the question, why are these results happening? So if we go back to MT5 again, let's just look here. Let's just look at the handbrake functions. My guess is that this is really quite tight as well. Okay, so what it's saying is within 7 bars, if the ATR has moved 1.2, then it's going to exit. So what that's saying is essentially, unless it's flatlining, it's going to exit after 7 bars. There'll be, my guess is, if we look again at the backtest analyzer, hopefully. I thought this, where's my fancy pants of the day? Ah, there we go. So it's a 12-minute. So if we look at our average, if we look at our average trade distribution, which is near the bottom of the backtest analyzer, you'll find it right at the bottom. So beneath the actual hours of the day performance, you can see here that only 2 trades out of 92 last more than an hour. So again, what it's doing is it's seen an entry and it's ripping it off. So really, and in some ways that's good. It's a very different EA profile to some of the other ones. So I really like the fact that we've got that. Is the first thing. The second thing is that it does explain why you're not seeing any other exits in here, but also why you're not seeing any other exits in here, but also why we never saw any difference in results with confluence factors on or off, because they would never have a fire, never have a chance to fire, because these two are lapping it all up. We had a few biggies which were really good. I mean, if we look at our profit loss, then you would expect that with a stop loss. There's always 6 hit a stop loss because it's not been given a chance to hit a stop. So from a risk management point of view, it's actually quite sweet. Anyway, I hope that was interesting and useful. As I said, I didn't do that. I didn't have a look at that before. That was completely blind. But what I wanted to do is take you through the process of why some of the results are happening. It does matter why they occur, because if by doing that, what it does 2 things. First of all, it justifies the hell out of our exit framework. Because this, and this are all to do with not giving back very much to the market at all, as much as is humanly possible. Okay, I think this may be just a little shy in terms of what we might be gaining, but I don't care, essentially, with that sort of return. Because that's about 26 times also. So what that says is that, and this goes back to the balancing thing, is if we find something like this that maybe works okay, maybe that's worth replicating. So then, of course, what we can do is we can go back to MT5 and we can say, well, that sort of worked, and we can see why it worked. But let's do that with all symbols in MarketWatch and see what happens. See if anything else is a fit, an immediate fit for that. And the other thing is that we know that there's absolutely no point at all in optimizing when we're doing this if there's any that we like. Oh, sorry, I forgot to do something. I should have really corrected the inputs and make it do every day. No point in cutting the trade numbers before you even kick things off. So let that cook. So the question we're trying to answer now is, does this, there's a few of these I would possibly, okay, so the volume window, so what you're saying is the coil number. Okay, so the way the volume works, so the coil window is 20 bars have got to be in a 3.2 ATR multiple. That sort of starts to move away from strategy, but what it's saying, this is sort of, if this was 5, this would be 13. So it adds 8 onto that and say, is it the highest in 28 bars? So we can see that there, Euro USD looks interesting. Now we've got that optimization. We don't have to start worrying about it right now. But what we'll do, so remember the essence of uppercut is 5 or 6 bars, pause, and then smash through in the same direction it was originally. So it's a pause rather, it's a market pause it's trying to play. So if we, there we go. If we go like this, let's do a bit of 3.2. And let's do that as 2. Let's see if it makes a difference in terms of what it throws up. Because we've already got that, we don't have to, so you can do 3 or 4 different variations of an all symbols in market watch with just a little tweak of settings. Aussie Hong Kong dollar, that's interesting. Not much coming up with this. 48 trades is not bad. I'd have to look at there's your Nasdaq. 3,108, which we know anyway. It's actually better than that. Isn't that mad? By doing that setting change, it's a higher drawdown, though. So exceptional. Let's just click it for fun. Just see what the so there's a couple there. US2. See, it would make sense to have a look at this. Lots of trades to play with. Let's just do this. I'm just interested in the actual equity drawdown. The balance drawdown. Does it pull it right down? Again. Still hockey sticks remain. No, it didn't pull that down, but you could probably have we haven't even skipped any days yet, but we could get rid of Wednesday and Monday, couldn't we? That's why we put on the days on. I think those are different if someone can remember. I don't know. I don't think that's any better, but you see what I mean. We've now got 3,290 and 182. So that's about 16 times or so. Could have play with this and see if we can improve it. Anyway, you get the idea. But let's go back here. Let's do, so we've got 2. From this one, I want to give this a shot. See what it cooks. It's got lots of trades we can play with. Oof, got to do lots of work on this. It's only profitable on Thursday and Friday. Let's get rid of those and see what happens. Oh, wrong way. It's the other days I want to cut. Let's just do a quick one while we chat about a couple of other things. Let's do 4 to 6. I'll leave that. Let's true or false that one. Just true or false that one. I think that's too high. Let's do that. I think that should be lower. I'm not that perturbed about it. I'll probably have it a bit lower than that. 3.8 is an awfully big candle. Let's do 3, and let's do it in 0.3, and let's do it up to 4.2. If this is false, what true or false that? Yeah, nothing cookie there. We'll make window 2, see if Europe produces anything. Let's just have a little play with these. And that's all we'll do, okay? Because we know Confluent exits aren't working on this. Well, That's true. Okay, let's give that a twirl. To make sure I'm not on the slow or anything. No, fast. Ugh. This doesn't look very good, does it? Anyway, while that's cooking, we'll come back to it. While that's cooking, we'll sort of go back to, yeah, I think we've sort of covered most of it anyway, sort of inadvertently. So, yeah, we've got over 20, but it'd be good to get another 10, at least. Again, two things: verify, pass the button. Now the going live channel, all those need verified. I think some great work by a few people. Yeah, I think it's interesting as well, Ian. I agree. I think there's some I think there's some scope and in looking at that sort of thing. But that was because, see, with the Confluence exits, again, you're thinking that something might happen, but there's a fair chance you should really have a look at those trades where the take profit was hit, and just make sure there weren't gaps in favor. So Trump's done a Truth Social post on a Friday, Monday opens and it gaps down and you quids in. So you've just got to be aware, but that didn't look as though it was happening a lot. So it'd be worthwhile doing a bigger dig, a deeper dive on those take profits to see what the trades look like and why. Again, look at the why behind. If we understand the why behind, we can exploit it going forward. Is really the message I'm trying to get. Yep. So we've got 21 sitting in 20. Ian's done his. Sorry, Dave's done some great work, and so it's up to you guys to make that happen. Yeah, so have a look at the outliers as well. That's the other way of doing it. If you want to have a look at that. A couple of good things that were suggested in the backtest analyzer. Dave and I can't remember who else it was. But there'll be another version coming along in a month. There's some stuff going on in Mastermind, which is going to require some additional things to go into backtest analyzer. So just to fill you in, again, if you weren't there last night, so this group was really sort of inspiring for the EA trader profile and EA profiling. See, now there is some EA profiling within there. Within some of the EAs, I think that could be taken to the next levels. Sorry, within some of the backtest analyzer of the EAs, I think could be taken to the next level. Our sample testing is the other thing that's going to potentially go as part of that backtest regime, so keep an eye out for that. Backtest analyzer, sorry. In EA Advanced, which I know some of you are part of, some of you aren't, just again to fill you in. So as well as the other SAR model, you've got the SAR mean reversion. But there's now a SAR mean reversion with market engineering. And so what EA Advanced guys are doing is not only testing market engine plus or minus, whether it works or not, and they'll get the first pick of those models, and then of course they'll filter the way down. Or if you want to become part of EA Advanced and you're not, then you get an opportunity for them right now. And then they're looking at the lot sizing. Jury's out on this one. I talked about it a bit last night. So if you missed last night's session, there'll be a little more detail on some of these, which I think you find interesting. But for you guys, it's not about adding more models. It's not about adding more variations of models, as we've talked about before. It's about the tests. It's about what can we do and what can we find. If you go through that process that I went through tonight and come up with the whys, it's a bit of a deep dive, a bit of a deeper dive, but there's two things that it'll create. First of all, it'll create an understanding of what's happening, as I said. But secondly, to go through that process, you'll be able to pick things that might pop out. So in the same way that there was interesting profile on some of the parameters with that one, then does that sort of lend itself to being super good for others? Right. So last thing to do really is to pop back. Let's see what we've got, if anything of any use. Actually, because we've got much use at all. So we've used the drawdown, but that's not really any good. There's nothing there that's jumping up. So of course, what we do is we sort of throw around. We don't like that. So we'll do it on all symbols. Let's do our first one. Euro USD. Let's see if we can do something on this. So these are Euro USD. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at backtest. 40% runway. We can make that better with getting rid of Wednesday. Straight away, that's what we do. Okay, that's still really high. Lots of nonsense going on here. I think there's something amiss. So what we're going to do, if that's true, that's false and that's false. So we're going to do that. Do that. Do that. That's not a big price. Let's do 5, 3 up to 11. Let's do that one. No time filter on it at all. So true or false it. Which means we're going to have to true or false them all. Yeah. Just be careful of that when you're looking at set files, that the function is actually on. Take profit, we'll do that and that. Let's get a bit more brave. I don't think there's any point in that. Okay, let's leave it. Let's leave it. That's what we've got to do, and then we can play with it further later. This is very low as well. This starts trailing. Trail stop trigger, initial trail stop. Okay, so it triggers a partial close at 50%. Is it actually switched on? This doesn't switch the partial close. This one doesn't switch the partial close. One of the new version, the new. So that's going to be relevant as well, because the partial close is locked into this confluence. The new one you can see if we could make these results any better. Oh, I should have had a look at exit time. Oh, it won't matter with exit time because we've got the closing X bars. But that's because we've sort of moved our back test. We're trying to, I mean, this stage is 2.5 to 1. So we've not actually got much to beat. but at this stage it's not doing it, and killed our trades. Anyway, you get the idea. So anyway, thanks guys. I hope that's been interesting, useful. Just a little bit of a, as I said, the key thing about this program is that you not only learn to do the stuff, but you start to, by towards the back end of the course, I'm working quite hard in thinking, well, what if you're going to be confident in something, if you're going to build confidence, if you're going to build knowledge, then something like this probably helps in terms of developing that understanding, and I possibly need to just enable you to do that a little better, to make sure that understanding is there. Yeah, good luck in the World Cup. We need it tonight, I think, against Argentina. I'm just sorry about the blip thing in the middle of it. Not least to see the questions without killing the presentation temporarily. Anyway, good stuff. You're welcome, Dave. Good work again, mate. And all of you, enjoy the rest of what's left of your Wednesday evening. You guys take care of yourselves. And I will catch you very soon. Absolutely. Great stuff. See you later. Bye-bye for now.